the Starfish Act of Love. This is one of the analogies used in spirituality to justify the current system that is existing in the universe, where you are walking on the beach and there's the starfish. You pick it up and you throw it back in the water, you put it back in, give it another chance, and then the big thing is then said, you know what, it mattered to this one starfish, this act, so that's why you do it. The problem is that, yes, it matters to the one starfish, but if you do not sort out the system that caused the starfish in the first place to be in a position where it was suffering, then there is a problem. To then hide the obvious cruelty of a system behind the apparent beauty of the pictures you can take of it shows one's great ignorance in the context of what is really going on. If you, for instance, now look at DesteniProductions, you have in the middle of winter lots of birds and new birds arriving, new kind of birds arriving, which is fascinating, just because we have equalized the support field so they do not have to live from the principle of survival. It's just a small thing, but the moment survival was taken out of the motivation factor of the living experience, the birds changed in their behavior, which is exactly the same principle in a small way we start with in terms of the equal money system. Once you introduce an equal money system, in time the human behavior pattern will change, and the human will start to become, instead of something that must do its utmost at all costs to survive, will become something benevolent, something that live in gratefulness, and that start looking at more, shall we say, grandiose ways of living, more loving ways of living, because the stress is no longer there. It's simple common sense. The fascinating thing is that the decisions in the world is made by people with money. If the decisions were made by people without money, the world would have been a total different place. So one of the things one must consider is that whenever a person has money, their opinion should not be valued unless it is measured with the equality equation to make sure they are not somehow possessed and their greed are blinding them, and their fear of loss is causing them to protect themselves so they don't have to end up in a survival mode again. It's simple stuff, but one must consider the starfish is not the solution. It is a simple act, a singular act that is and could be construed as a form of awareness, but standalone it is in fact also an act of ignorance, unless one act within the context of a total universal solution. Then the act of supporting the starfish is valid. Loose standing without challenging the limitation as it exists that is causing the current state of survival, all acts is in a way self-deception if they are not considering a permanent, effective solution within the context of what is best for all.